Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario from the heart of the Deep South, near the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama. Welcome to the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel. This is part 2 of CD box sets that I recommend getting your hands on if you can. As I explained in the last video, there are some benefits to getting these CD box sets. For one, you get a lot of music for a very good price. And oftentimes you get some great documentation that kind of gives you that presentation that you would get with a vinyl record, and many times much more. So I've got 5 more box sets here to show you guys today that I think are worth adding to your collection. So let's start off with this Charlie Parker Records box set. You can still find these used online, 30 CDs with a lot of incredible music that you would have a very difficult time amassing in a record collection. You've got a lot of Charlie Parker's music on here, but also people like Duke Jordan, Mundell Lowe, Art Pepper, Shelly Manne, Slide Hampton, Barney Kessel. So you can see there's some of the people that are on this. And 30 discs, has a book in here, I'll show you, that goes over the recordings. Explains the record label, which I didn't know a whole lot about until I picked up this set, and I didn't know that there were this many recordings. But each page here goes through the different volumes, and again, you've got 30 CDs. I'll show you those. They're each packaged in just like a cardboard slip case, but you have all the recording information here and cool pictures. And again, you can find this. Last I saw it was you could still find these on like eBay or different places online for a pretty good price for 30 CDs. So anyway, you get all the information on the recording sessions here in this booklet, and then each of the CDs, they come stacked in this here, and I'll just show you some of these. They just come in individual slip cases. Usually 2 albums per disc, and then they come on these CDs. And so the sound quality does vary, because you have a lot of different recordings here that are recorded differently, but the sound quality is pretty good, all considering. So there you got 30 discs inside this box plus the booklet. I do recommend this, getting your hands on it. A lot of cool jazz. You got some Miles Davis in here as well, but also like a little bit of R&B type thing and pop music. But it does lean heavily on the jazz side of things. So I do recommend that. Charlie Parker Records Complete Collection, 30 CDs. All right. For those of you guys that are into historic folk music, there are 3 sets. I'll show you one of them. This is from the Bear Family Records, and most of their box sets are pretty impressive. And a lot of times you can find these on sale on Amazon or different places. This is a really cool box set. I'm going to show you. They do such a great job with their books. This hardback book in here, along with 5 CDs, and this is important from a historical perspective, because this is some of the earliest country music that we have on record from 1927, recorded in Bristol, Tennessee. If you've never been to the museum there, the Country Music Museum, Bertha Country Music Museum in Bristol, Tennessee, I highly recommend it if you're anywhere near there to go and check it out. And they also have a live working radio station with a full studio with seats, so you can sit there and watch the performances as it's broadcast over the radio. But these are nice box sets. There's also one on the Knoxville sessions and one on the Johnson City sessions that are very similar to this. So you can see here, this book is massive. I mean, you can sit here for hours and read through this and listen to this. You got 5 discs of music, and then you've got this incredible book that goes through and explains the history of the Bristol sessions. I can't recommend it enough if you're into folk music, early country music, a lot of string bands and things like that on here. But this book is just like, I mean, a lot of information, a lot of great pictures. You're going to learn a lot reading through this. So if you're a history buff like I am, I love history, especially music history, you're going to dig this. And all three of the box sets are similar. There's one of the Johnson City sessions, one of the Knoxville sessions that are very similar. If you can get your hands on them, I would definitely recommend it. I won't flip through the entire book here, but just you can see how much is in here. It's actually text and writing and pictures and just a lot of information on the sessions, who played. You've got some of the first recordings of Jimmy Rogers on here, the Carter family, 1927-28 recordings. Comes in five discs that sit here under the book, and the cases are pretty nice. They're regular jewel cases, the information there, and really nice presentation. So Bear Family just does a fantastic job. I'm going to show you two more Bear Family box sets that I highly recommend. So I do recommend this box set. Again, this is something that, unless you're a 78 collector, you're probably not going to get most of this stuff on record. And again, if you're into the whole historical aspect of recorded music, this is a spectacular box set that I definitely recommend getting your hands on. Continuing on, there are two other wonderful Bear Family box sets that I also recommend, especially if you're into early rock and roll. This Big D, which is basically the Grand Ole Opry, that was also very similar to the Louisiana Hayride. And this right here is what happened in Dallas, Texas, called the Big D Jamboree. And these were broadcast on a local radio station, CBS Radio. But you've got a lot of important recordings on here, including some of Carl Perkins, Wanda Jackson, Elvis, Sonny James, Johnny Cash, Gene Vincent, Ronnie Dawson. So this is kind of like the birth of rock and roll, really. And again, Bear Family Records, you've got a fantastic layout and book that comes with this. Let me show you. And again, this is for folks that are really into the history of the music. A lot of music here, but you get to learn about it. And this is a massive book. Again, a lot of text. You could really sit here and spend hours reading through this, looking at all the pictures, learning about all the recording sessions, the performances, what dates, who played on, what song they played on, what date, all the advertisements. This is just awesome. And you get to hear all of this early rockabilly type stuff, a little bit of country. It's all this stuff was, broadcast on the radio. And again, just look at the presentation. Look at the quality of the book. Massive. And then you've got, of course, the music. Let me show you the CDs here. So you've got 8 CDs in here. They each come in jewel cases with 2 CDs per jewel case. And again, nice presentation, I think. Sound quality, again, is pretty good for the time period when all these were recorded. And again, this is the beginning of rock and roll. You got all the rockabilly. You got Charlene Arthur on here, Gene Vincent, Ronnie Dawson, and it's all live recordings. You hear the talking over the radio and everything. So it's very gives you a nostalgic feel, even though I was not born then and didn't listen to these radio broadcasts, but it kind of takes you back in time to a really important era that really dawned rock and roll. So I do recommend getting your hands on this. And I got 2 more box sets to show you. One more Bear Family. These are recorded between 50 and 58. So that kind of gives you a time frame here of what you're going to get. But absolutely wonderful. And this one is, if there was going to be one of them, if you're into rock and roll, the Louisiana Hayride box set. Again, you can still find these new. They're kind of expensive, but you get a lot of material on this one. This is 20 CDs, over 24 hours of music captured, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And you've got Hank Williams on here, Elvis, Johnny Cash, Jim Reeves, Johnny Horton, George Jones, Webb Pierce, June Carter, and the list goes on. So again, this is something that you're not going to get on vinyl. You're not going to get all of this material here. It would cost you a fortune to try to amass a collection if it's even available. Most of the stuff's probably not even available on record. So check out this book. Again, this is substantial. And again, they do such a great job of, I mean, look at the pictures. Look at the layout here. Of course, this is where a lot of the earliest rockabilly, rock and roll stuff was recorded, was at the Louisiana Hayride, where Elvis, some of his earliest live recordings are from. And again, this is something that you can spend hours sitting and going through. And again, the nice thing about having these on CD is that you can sit back and listen to an hour or hour and 15 minutes worth of music without having to get up, and you can sit here and flip through this book and drink your coffee or your beverage and learn about this and look at all the different people who played on this, the historical significance. So this is where, those that are just never CDers are really missing out on a lot of great music here and a lot of great information. So you can see how wonderful these books are. So I won't bore you and go through every single page, but you can definitely see the quality here. Wonderful. I'm a big proponent of the Bear Family box sets. And now let's take a look at the CDs. Again, you got 20 CDs, and they're kind of like they're put in this set inside this recess where the book sits on top, and you got 20 CDs. And I'll just show you how some of these, they all come in these 2 CDs per packet, and they're little. So there's disc 1 and 2, disc 3 and 4, five and 6. And again, you just look at the people that are on this: Slim Whitman, Elvis, Johnny Horton, Johnny Cash, live recordings, and it's got all the dates here for the different recordings. And these, again, sound very good. It's like going back in a time capsule, listening to these radio broadcasts, and you hear them announce the people coming out on the stage. And it's to me, it's just, this is a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon, just sitting back and listening to this, and like you're just going back in time, and you got the book with all the pictures and everything else. So I highly recommend this box set. If I was going to get just one of them, this would probably be the one that I would get, just because it's just got so many great people so many great people on this that are basically the pioneers of rock music, and it's 24 hours of live recordings. I mean, that's such a hefty box set. And finally, last but not least, a modern CD box set, which I think is a pretty cool album, Porcupine in Absentia. And this is one of those ear books. I kind of like these because, again, it kind of gives you that vinyl feel, the record feel. It's about the same size as a record. You've got 3 CDs on here. So you've had the album in absentia, you've got bonus material and demos, and you've got a 4th disc, which is Blu-ray, which I really like these Blu-ray discs that have a 5.1 mix on them, in a stereo mix, as well as there's a documentary on this as well. And again, you've got all your discs here on the front panel, and then you've got a nice photo book with some information on the inside with pictures and things like that. So it kind of gives you that vinyl feel. Actually, you get really more than you would get with a record. A lot of cool pictures and then information here, and then you get all the music. So another great box set. This, being more of a modern recording, but I like these earbooks when they're done well, and I do like the fact that they've come also with not only the CDs but a Blu-ray. And to me, when you start getting into these nice 5.1 mixes or even the stereo mixes, and they're these 9624 bit rate, that they sound very good, and I would say they rival the sound of a record. And you don't have to worry about cleaning the record and all that stuff. And this is not, obviously, you guys know from this channel that I love listening to records and I love collecting records. But for me, it's more about the music than just the actual format that I'm listening to it in. And so I'm open to whether it's CD or Blu-ray or record. And so these 5 box sets in absentia, fantastic. The Louisiana Hayride, wonderful. If there's only one of these that I could get, this one I would definitely put on my list. You'll be listening to this all the time. You'll be sitting there on a Sunday afternoon like you're going back in time. Same thing with the big D Jamboree, Dallas, Texas. Same type of thing as the Louisiana Hayride, but just the Dallas version of it. But not as much music on this, but still like going back in a time capsule. I highly recommend that. The Bristol sessions, for sure, wonderful. And I also recommend the Knoxville and the Johnson City sessions. You can find all 3 of those still online. Wonderful. And finally, last but not least, the Charlie Parker 30 CD set, Charlie Parker Records, and a lot of music on here for a pretty good price. You should still be able to find these used online. So that's all I got, folks. Thanks for joining me. Leave your comments. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And I learn a lot when you guys leave your comments. And I like to know what you guys, things you've purchased and what you think are great box sets, because I'm always open to learning what you guys find to be worth buying as well. So this channel is not just me telling you about stuff, but I like to hear your feedback as well, so I can learn what's going on as well from you guys. So thanks for joining me. Happy listening to everybody, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.